Morning, everyone. Welcome to another show of the Four Idiots. Our fourth idiot will be joining us after he gets swole from the gym here in hopefully 15 minutes. Maybe he'll crack an egg over his head for us. Who knows? So we're going to recap Sweet 16 action. I feel like we all did pretty well coming into form here. And then we'll go over the Elite Eight, starting today and ending off tomorrow evening. So Nelly, I'll let you start. How was your what day was it? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. It was pretty sweet. Both best bets hit. Tennessee and FAU under was no sweat, basically from start to finish. Outside like the first 2 minutes, I think when they scored 9 points in the first 2 minutes. Outside of that, that was a no sweater. Miami, I went out on my island. The Miami Hurricanes against Houston. I certainly didn't expect a blowout winner. Right? Cheese asked me last night, did I sprinkle any money line? I didn't. Wasn't expecting a win, but I mean, you saw just how. Houston looked so slow again from start to. That was another start to finish, so it felt really good. Houston just looked so slow behind.
Miami's guards just controlled that whole game.
They really did.
Yeah.
It kind of played out the way I thought it was going to in that one. And then the third one that I bet that Guns and I had talked about doing money line parlays on UConn and Texas. God, wish just had done points. Those two absolutely blew out there. So it was a really nice little Sweet 16 for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was definitely surprised by Miami, dude. I didn't expect to see that. I've talked about it numerous times how coming out of the ACC, like I just think that entire conference was trash. Miami's guard play was just second to none last night. They looked unstoppable last night.
Yeah, they really did. So
great call, buckets, obviously.
Yeah. And I thought an interesting point, and Kyle made it in our group chat, at halftime was, I think it was what was it?
Minus 133.
Yeah. Houston still minus 133.
Yeah, it's just like how
could anybody watching that think that nothing that happened in that game was like luck by Miami. Like they
dominated the entire game.
It was so fast. Houston looked shocked. Like those, anytime Houston would trap,
they looked in the postseason last year.
Yeah. Until their
defense, like what made them so epic last year was their defense, which hasn't been nearly as good. But last night, they were motivated.
Yeah.
And they took it to them. Like I kept looking at that line, just waiting to, live bet Houston, just on the money line. Like I said, I was like, I like them here, but I ain't laying 7. I couldn't understand why everyone was so gung ho on laying the 7. Because
if you watch that first half, you were not touching Houston at halftime.
And I ended up not even betting it because I was just like,
I was on Houston. I was on Houston. I fell for it. And at halftime, I was like, oh, I'm absolutely done here.
Right.
Yeah. So quick recap from my Sweet 16. I gave out 4 plays on the pod the other night. Obviously, UConn first half, blowout winner. We were up 400 at halftime. UConn full game, which was also Duke's best bet for the show the other night. So 2-0 opening night. And then last night gave out Houston minus 7.5. Obviously on the wrong side. Caught a little bit of shit from Nelly in the group chat. Well deserved. I'd be rubbing it in if Houston blasted Miami. So, yeah, absolutely good call, buckets. And then my best bet for the show was my 2-unit play. Creighton minus 10, and obviously they win by 11. Cover, we got the 2-unit banger last night. I know the entire group was on it. It's always fun when we're on the same side. I had a phenomenal round. Picking up the 2 units last night on Creighton was great. Glad homie missed that last free throw for Princeton, but overall great round. Very, very happy with putting out some winners.
Yeah, and Let's see. I mean, Neil should have given out San Diego State on the pod, so I apologize for missing, to go to a Laker game. But
I'm not used to hosting. There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
I'm not
that
used
was
to
an
hosting.
easy
There's
winner.
too much going on up here, Dan.
You crushed it hosting.
Well, I mean, that's good because I suck at hosting. I don't know why. I don't know why Neil doesn't host all the time. He has big words. I have like and and Anyway,
that's my vocabulary.
Yeah, I'm just a dumbass. Fore idiots. Hello. So, yeah, I mean, I was also on UConn. I posted that on Monday, but I mean, that's all thanks to Joey. He turned my hat on them. So I don't know if I'm blinded by love or if I truly am seeing just the greatness, which they are great. I'm pretty damn sure they're the best team left at this point. Had San Diego State as well. Same thing as Buckets. Didn't sprinkle on the money line. I was looking at it even before tip. And I'm like, oh, just do it. Just do it. You know everyone's got Bama money line. Just do it. Didn't do it. But posted plays, went pretty well. Added Creighton late. Saw that line drop below 10. I've been thinking that since Monday. I'm like, once it goes to 9.5, I'm laying it. And then it finally did, and I'm like, well, I like the side already because 2 of my dads are on it. So 3-1.
I mean, if you watch that game, Creighton should have won by 30.
Oh, they shot 58%. Like the fact they only won by 11, it's just like wow. But yeah, we'll move on to the Elite Eight. I think we spent enough time recapping here. So the first game, I mean, Joey, we're going to let you start off because it's your
first game's FAU K-State.
Oh, that is the first game?
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll start. I don't even know what's happening. So, I mean, I think I got 3 plays. I mean, they're kind of considered all best bets for me, but I really love FAU here. The numbers kind of match. They're getting 2. I think they're going to win this game outright. Their defense is a lot better than people are giving them credit for. Their offense, they average close to 10 3-pointers a game. I think it's a tough matchup for Kansas State, and I know they're playing, lights out right now, but I'm definitely going to take the 2. It's kind of crazy. Like all these games with these numbers of 2, 2.5, 1.5, nothing's yet to land on 1. And I'm just like, man, high stake game. Like I could see some craziness, but I do expect FAU, to be able to win this game. They can get hot, they can get streaky. The numbers back me up. I've been after that cold ass start. I'm now I think 11-4. In the betting in the tournament, so that's over 70%. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else has a take on this game or an under, a first half over.
I didn't bet this game. For me, it would be FAU or nothing here. Not very high on this K-State team. I think Noel's obviously an elite point guard. I think he's gotten a little bit too much love here. It's all I've been hearing and reading about was him on Twitter and this and that. The no-look pass, the 20 dimes he had, and this and that. I'm just not a fan of this K-State team. I don't think they are good enough. If they do get past FAU, I mean, I think they get blasted by the winner of Creighton, San Diego State. So it would be FAU or pass here for me. Not a game that I have money on, though.
Okay, how about you?
I'm still deciding. I'm in Joey's camp. It's FAU or nothing, and it's really just sort of the game that Kansas State had to go win in that Michigan State game. I mean, that's just one of those you laid it all out there type of games, and on a quick turnaround here. I feel the same. I feel like all the love is going Kansas State's way right now, and you're sitting here with a line that I don't think represents like where the public is on this. That they're saying I can take Kansas State against some team I've never heard of. I think a lot of
State's got 66% tickets, 56% money.
So 66%.
And that line last night dropped down to 1, and it's back up to 2.
To 2 now, so it came back as
very
soon as you
interesting.
could. Yeah. So I got some time still to think about it, see sort of where that line moves if it happens to go any higher. maybe. But I'm in Joey's camp right now. I'm going to sit and wait. I do kind of want to take this under.
It's a good way to look here.
Kansas State's been moving, has been moving, but you look at, FAU doesn't, irregardless of who they played. I mean, in fact, they played Memphis in the game that ended 125, and Memphis is an up and down team, that wants to get after it and score. So, 144 after playing just 2 days, ago for both these teams with Kansas State playing. I think FAU knows that they can't necessarily keep up that type of offense, but I haven't gotten to the window with anything yet, so we'll see.
All right. Guess I'm on an island today.
See, Chris Dunn just posted he's seen 81% public bet on KSU money line. So people
depends what book you're looking at.
Right, also, obviously,
you get different numbers everywhere you look.
But right, but depending on book. But I mean, I think it's a similar theme. I'm not surprised by that.
Gives you an idea of what's going on.
Without having looked at anything, I feel like it's going to be 80%. Ticket or a higher percentage of tickets are going to be.
Well, it gives you a good idea of what's going on across the market. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it looks like that line just fell back to 1.5.
Pretty gross then.
All right. Well, let me jump into my best bet. Yeah. It's going to be a real shocker to the boys, anyone listening, but we're going back to the well and we're going back to the UConn Huskies. I will be playing them first half and full game. I do believe that they are the best team left in the tournament. Even prior to last night, I still believe that they were the best team in the country. Even before Bama and Houston got knocked out, I still thought UConn was the best team alive here. I just think the presence of Sonogo and Klingman down low is just going to be too much. I don't think Timmy has his way like he did with UCLA. Caravan and Calcaterra, Aline, Newton, Hawkins, Jackson, all these boys on the outside are just deadly. Jackson's defensive presence is gonna he's like nobody on the wing is gonna have wide open threes tonight. Jackson's long. He covers the perimeter well. The dude jumps out of the gymnasium. Hawkins has been unbelievable. He's probably the best off ball movement spot up shooter left in the tournament. Dude comes off screens and bangs threes like nobody's business. Calcaterra obviously is one of the best spot up shooters in the country. Caravan's been nothing but elite. Newton and Aline have been taking care of the ball. This UConn Huskies team is dangerous, man. I do not think Gonzaga has what it takes to keep up with them. I mean, we talked about it on the show the other night before we blew the fucking doors off of Arkansas. UConn started slow their first 2 games. Led us to believe that they were going to come out quick against Arkansas. We saw what they did. I think that momentum from that game carries over into the Gonzaga game. And not for nothing, I think for this Gonzaga team, who obviously can score with the best of them, I think Ken Palm has them as the number 1 adjusted offense in basketball. But that second half, I think, took a lot out of them coming back against UCLA, having to mount that 13-point comeback and to win that game. And not for nothing, I mean, they hit a
emotionally too.
They hit a wild 3 to win that game versus UCLA. I don't see how UConn doesn't absolutely fucking ragdoll them tonight. Little quick shout out. I'll be at Sidelines in Salem, Mass tonight. Anyone wants to come out and drink some beers, drink some Vivas, come bring UConn home with me. Hopefully cash these tickets. So yeah, UConn, best bet, real shocker. Hoping to get to the Final Four and be one game closer to cashing this 25-1.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I'm with you. And the future, mine's only 17-1, but I'll still take it. And probably the only thing I'll add on this game is we got the 2 best offenses left. Number 1 in Gonzaga, number 3 with UConn. However, Gonzaga's defense really isn't that good.
Like 97 or something.
Only one of these teams can get a stop. Like if they need to. I mean, there's only one of those in this game.
Yeah, that's where I agree with Joey for sure. Is they're not going to be able to keep up because defensively, they're gonna they're just going to have to play better than they've played all year. And coming back from 13, I agree. Emotionally, physically, it takes a lot, to do that. And it's probably going to be close. And I see UConn running away in the second half, probably last 10 minutes.
Timmy has to deal with Sinogo and Klingman down low. Good luck.
Yeah, and hopefully they look at his footwork. It is pretty good, but he has been, shuffling that pivot foot quite frequently.
Quite a bit. He's got away with like 4 walks in that UCLA.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Like they either got to call a foul or a travel.
Yeah, and I mean that Gonzaga UCLA game was such a fraudulent ending. I mean, you can count probably on like 2 fingers the amount of times that UCLA is going to go a 10-minute stretch and score 3 points in any game, much less a game with an awful defense. I don't know what happened in that one. Like, the playbook has been written. I thought that first half, I was a little shocked at UCLA. I think we all did. We thought that UCLA couldn't win sort of an up and down game with Gonzaga. We remember, I remember saying it on pod. We thought under, and because UCLA goes out and just says they scored 46 points in the first half against Gonzaga. Like
they marched up and down the court.
They marched up and down and did whatever they wanted to, and were up. Then they just decided to completely change game plans and whatever they thought they were going to come out and do in the second half to run clock. No, this script's been written.
Dude, guess what UConn does better than anybody else left?
Yes, Gonzaga will not stop you from putting 50 points up in the first half. Go score the basketball.
UConn runs up and down the court better than anybody left in this tournament.
And I was surprised. I mean, they did that against Arkansas. I thought Arkansas would give them a little bit of a defensive challenge. They got whatever they wanted. If you were able to get whatever you wanted versus Arkansas, I don't see how you get whatever you want against the Zags right now.
Dude, we talked on pod about UConn having to slow Arkansas down. Right. And what did UConn do? They came out and ran with them and just lit the fire. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. So leads me to this over. Like I said, I don't think UConn stops pushing the ball. They just keep going because like I said, you saw Connecticut sort of slow down. There was a little there was that little point where I think the game got cut down, like the
10-0 run by Arkansas.
10-0 run by Arkansas because they really kind of slowed down. Yep. You know that you can't do that against this Gonzaga team. This Gonzaga team actually has an offense. A 10-0 can be, a 10-0 versus Arkansas becomes a 19-0 against Gonzaga. The way they can shoot, the way they can shoot threes. This team can shoot their way back into a game where Arkansas is unable to do so because they don't shoot the 3 ball. So I see a lot of points. I know this is super square to think, but I see a lot of points because I think from UConn's perspective, you just got to go. You got to go score 90. They're not going to stop you from scoring 90. I agree.
I agree. I think UConn lights up the scoreboard tonight. Yeah. And I'm going to be fucking hammered watching it. I can't wait.
Kmart, let's Chris in.
Woohoo. We're only in the second game,
Look,
Chris.
Dad, I was going to say, did we get the realistic line tonight yet?
No, we haven't got there. He hasn't said what he likes it up to.
No, I was waiting. Nelly was breaking it down. I mean, it's no secret. I make UConn minus 16.5 tonight. Yeah. I think UConn's good up to 16 and up to minus 16.5 tonight. If you can get that alternate at plus 950, I take it.
He missed Creighton minus 18.5 by a few yesterday, so this one's a lock. Go get it.
We're bet. I told you the other day on pod I liked UConn up to minus 20, and they beat Arkansas by 25. So what do I know? That was plus 1,100. Yeah.
Did you bet it?
No, of course not.
No. That would be sick.
That would be dope. I'd be posting that ticket on Twitter.
Oh man! So are we ready to move to Sunday slate? Chris, you got anything on the 2 games today before we wrap it up?
No, I'm with you guys. Obviously, I like Cheese's stance on free rolling. I might be a puss and hedge in the Natty game if they get there, but
I will disown you.
Okay, I'll add.
No hedging.
FaceTime me yesterday. I was on a beautiful walk. SoCal finally has some sun, and we're like, dude, what if Miami can do it and SDSU can do it? Sure enough, down go the ones. Gotta love it.
Unbelievable.
We manifested it on FaceTime yesterday.
We're like, hey, is this path gonna part like Moses for the Huskies, baby?
Man, imagine if we parlayed that.
Dude, the Huskies still have the toughest path to the championship, though. I mean, you got to get through Gonzaga, who is probably the second best team left, and then you got to play the winner of Miami, Texas. If you win tonight, I mean, you have the hardest path to the championship without a doubt.
Yeah.
Every team on the other side of the bracket, I think UConn's a 4-point favorite versus every single one of them, if not higher. If you get into the FAUs and the K States, but I mean, yeah.
Definitely.
Sunday
So,
will be interesting.
yeah, we'll move off, to Sunday. We got Creighton, San Diego State. I got another play on this, and it pains me because I love the Aztecs, but I'm going to go with Creighton. Kind of the reverse of the UConn game. They both play exceptional defense, but San Diego State's going to have to get hot again. Similar how they were yesterday when they were down 9, they got hot. They finally started hitting their shots, and they kind of ran away with that game late. They're going to have to shoot the ball probably over 50% to stay in this game. So I'm doing something I don't normally do. It seems kind of squarish, but going with Creighton money line, it's minus 120. So, I am going to do that just in case. I really like the San Diego State team, but the way Creighton's been playing, I mean, apart from that 6-game losing streak, kind of in the middle third part of the season, they've been really, really good. And how does the bracket? Who would they play? UConn?
No, they can't play till the championship.
Okay, because I was going to say, man, that would be
the winner of the Creighton San Diego State game plays the winner of the FAU K State game in the Final Four.
Okay. But yeah, no, I like Creighton here. Simply because I think they're going to be able to do more than the Aztecs.
I don't really have anything on this one. This was came out. I remember this is a rematch from last year's tourney. I think it was opening round game that these two played. It was right after Nemhard, I think, had gotten hurt and was called out for the season, like in the Big East in the Big East tournament. So it was a couple games after. Creighton beat San Diego State in overtime by 3 points. So little rematch from a game we saw last year in the tournament. I don't remember watching this game. I'm pretty sure we were in the Westgate's buffet on Saturday or Sunday when this game was going on, and we missed this one. But yeah, it was a game without Nemhard. I think I would lean Creighton too, but not a great play. I mean, I think what San Diego State did on there was pretty awesome. Hi.
They had the boys.
Shay's
a big UConn fan too.
You say go Huskies for Daddy?
Yeah, go see Mama.
Go Huskies.
You want to stay? Okay, you can stay.
So, my lead would be Creighton, but nothing I've played quite yet.
Wasn't San Diego State up a bit in regulation too? Like at the end of that game?
They were up at halftime. I think I had the game up.
And then they blew it. It looked like Bama was going to run away with it and made a run. I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, you looked. I mean, everybody at the bar yesterday was not impressed. I mean, even I was not impressed with Creighton, the way they let Princeton just get a lot of rebounds and stuff. And they're way bigger, and Princeton was scrappy for a lot of the game.
San Diego State already looks very public heavy.
And next thing you know, it's back to a 9-point game. I'm sweating the cover. So, I mean, I would lean. People probably think that San Diego State's scrappy. They just beat the number 1 seed when Creighton beat a 15 seed. So, lean Blue Jays there.
I have a play on this game too. Are you back? Want to come here? Daddy? Give out his second best bet. Okay.
What's your first? UConn?
What?
What's your first best bet?
Nah, it wasn't UConn.
No.
He flipped to Gonzaga. He's hedging.
So my second play goes tomorrow. I will be on the Aztecs under. I will be on the under here. I'm not really a totals guy. You guys know this. I don't really give them out. So when I do, I see something I really like. After watching the San Diego State team play defense yesterday, dude, they are elite. Those dudes jump out of the gym and pin shit to the backboard all the time.
That's impressive,
dude.
That's
yeah.
I mean, I don't see how Kalkbrenner has his way in the post with the bigs from San Diego State. Obviously, these guys defend the perimeter well. I don't think Shireman goes off from three, even though you guys know I'm a big Shireman fan. I love the lefty at Creighton.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I lean under 133.5 here in this spot. It will be a 1-unit play for me. So yeah,
I can get on board that. I mean, like you said, and the crazy thing about the Aztecs defense is that first 6 minutes of the game. I mean, they were being out hustled. Bama was getting all the offensive rebounds, and then finally they settled.
The one you got,
they jumped out to the 5-point halftime lead, and then Bama came out like you'd expect them to do, and it looked like even the cover was in doubt for a second there, and then finally their shooters got hot because I mean everyone was cold in that game, but it's in a tribute to both those defenses because both of those defenses are very good. He who I shall not name was 1 for 10 from the 3-point line, had like 7 points, 3 for 19. And that's, who knows if it's, from his personal life or, if it's all Aztecs defense, probably a combo. But that was definitely a reason why I played, Aztecs yesterday. It's one of my best bets.
I think I like Cheese's handicap, and as I think about it, I think yes, and Chris knows he was as frustrated as only Chris can get about Creighton not playing any defense against Princeton. I think that was sort of shocking at the fact that Princeton kind of got whatever they want. I mean, they were able for a long time in that game to get whatever they wanted to. Go into the bucket, having wide open threes. I think the defense from Creighton's side, I think, scared me a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, coach better be on their ass. They kept stepping under screens. It's like, dude, you can't step under screens. These guys are shooting 50% from the three. So come on, step up over that screen. They better be doing that next game, or else I'm not gonna fly with them.
Yeah, I mean, Kalkbrenner defensively could be a liability a little bit. The thing that doesn't worry me, like you saw last night, Princeton had their way in the post with him, right? Wasn't expected. But here's the thing: San Diego State doesn't score like a lot of these teams do. That are left in the Elite Eight, whatever. So I don't see him being as much of a liability as he was last night. We're a Princeton team who can clearly score. I think it's a defensive battle. I see this game being in the each team being in the high 50s, and that says a lot for a Creighton team that we know could score.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, so I mean, the last game here, Miami, Texas. I think I already see a lot of action on Miami. Similar reasons. Anybody have action on this? I gotta lean on UT. I'm just not a big fan of Lane. It's up to 4.5 now, which is showing, with all the action, on Miami. Still getting some heavy bets on Texas. I gotta lean, but I really don't like laying that many points. And it's what kept me off of them last night too. And
don't forget it in the car again.
Anybody got
how the heck can Cheese make such a cute little baby, huh?
My other one's just as cute. So I have no action on this game. I don't even really have an opinion. If anything, I think it would be I'd look towards it being a letdown spot for Miami after that blowout win versus arguably one of the best teams in the country. We both know this Texas team is elite on both sides of the ball. I don't think Miami's big enough. I don't think Miami's big enough in the post to contend. I think I think Texas has their way with them down low. It's not a game I'll be involved in unless one of you guys gives it out as your best bet. I'll tail, but I don't have money on it.
So I'm a little surprised, Chris and Joe. I thought this was like one of those disgusting favorites, right? Miami goes out and they just obliterate Houston. They look great. Dessou, right? Guy was averaging 20 plus points in the first 2 games, sitting on the bench for Texas in a walking boot. And you still got to lay 4, now 4.5 to take Texas, in this spot. I get what they did against Xavier was impressive, but I was like, looking here thinking like, oh my God, can I really lay that many points going up against this Miami team that had just an amazing performance? I'm with you. I wanted to kind of like let down spot this one. You just knocked off, Goliath. And Texas is just, to me, Texas and UConn have been the 2 teams that have been like the most impressive, just consistently every single game so far this tournament. So I kind of wanted to fade him and take Texas in this spot, but it's like, 4.5.
Miami needs a repeat performance from last night to win this game versus Texas.
Right. Yeah.
And that's enough to worry me because I don't see them stringing that back to back games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the worst defense left in this tournament. And with Texas's offense, 4 is not a huge number. Like Neil said, it is disgusting. Just not a big fan of it. I'll probably be super square and parlay them with UConn because I'm an absolute degenerate and I like losing money on stupid shit. But don't do that. I'm just saying I might.
I want to ask. I'll have Matt maybe see if he can go on Fade You and ask Ralph Michaels about Elite Eight on how the totals end up. Does it tighten up? Because obviously we saw a bunch of overs yesterday. I'm going to be a stubborn fuck and probably think that Texas Texas did what we said they were going to do. They slowed down the pace to them. It's just that Xavier is so fast that they ended up. They blew them out. There was a blowout all game. They're up 20 and ends up being a 12-point game because Xavier keeps firing, so it sneaks over the total. And then obviously Houston fucking scores 90. Miami scores 90, and that game flies over. So I think the average person probably looks and goes 149. Oh man, how does this not go over? So I think Texas tries to do the same thing, locks them down, and sees if they can ugly this game up and win a closer like a 70-65, something like that.
Yeah. Anybody got anything else? Any totals? Any first halves? Neil, been disappointed. No first half overs have been sent.
Hoping for more like a Drake Miami game, just an ugly 63-56.
It's another thing, dude. Like Miami struggled with Drake, shouldn't even have won that game. And now look at him. Look, like it's like what March Madness is, right? Just winning, winning in advance.
Too first half, and then they just blew out the second half.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, for what it's worth on the total side, if you look at the Elite Eight last year, I think the unders went 3-1. You had one game, Duke Arkansas was 147, and then you had a 126 in that Kansas Miami game. You had a 118 versus St. Pete and UNC. Houston Villanova was amazing for the Clinks, 94 points.
I was just gonna say, didn't that one go under 100?
Yeah.
That was that's what Vegas makes. Like, what will the lowest? They make it like, will any game stay below like 98 or something?
Yeah. So I think you did see some under some unders play out last season. That would be my lean again today, as you just have them coming off back to backs, and it gets right. Every level gets a little more stressed out. You get a little more worried. Every possession means just a little bit more. So,
yeah, and I'll leave everybody with our next show. So we're gonna have very special guest. It's gonna be Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So mark it. It's gonna be good. Probably be 25-30 minutes. There's gonna be a few games to talk about, and it's gonna be fun. So
are you not giving?
Are we not even dropping who it is?
Yeah, we're not even dropping the guest. Or are we gonna hold that off? Like you mentioned.
What a scumbag move!
We'll drop it on Wednesday.
It's mom.
I mean, come on. If you've watched us all on the Fade You podcast, you probably have a pretty good inclination of who it is. But
She's, may or may not be pissed off if her team doesn't win today.
Porn star Lisa Ann? No?
Exactly. So yeah, Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern will be our next show, and then we'll probably do one Sunday night for the final. So
and then we'll recap when UConn wins the Natty.
We'll recap live if you're still awake, and if you're not, we'll do it without you.
I don't think awake's the problem. I think
if you do not stay awake coherent
is the question, right?
If UConn makes
the Natty, I'm up for that game. Trust me.
Yeah,
Cheese is back to sleep next week. Back to work.
Yeah. Had a couple of weeks off. It's been good.
But yeah, we'll make a post from our main Fade You on Monday. Including everything for Wednesday for a reminder. So yeah, thanks for listening. Good luck if you tail. Probably don't fade. We're hot, or maybe now's the time to fade. Who the fuck knows? Thanks again. See you on Wednesday.